OMG, you will not believe the shocking things Candace Owens and Joe Rogan just exposed about Erika Kirk.
Wild times. Wild times when people celebrate people getting killed now. Like, that never happened.
But the drama doesn't end there. Joe and Canadace are both showing the world major red flags about Erika's involvement with Charlie Kirk's untimely death, and how it seems like her grieving widow persona seemingly disappeared overnight.
What is it about the Charlie Kirk investigation? What is it about Charlie Kirk's assassination that is causing so much panic?
So, buckle up as I tell you all about the weird details that Joe Rogan said don't add up, the shocking revelation Candace Owens made about Charlie's last moments, and why both of them might be of the opinion that Erika isn't the innocent widow the world believes her to be.
I don't necessarily think they know what's going on yet. There's a lot of weird shit going on with this.
I know.
First of all, there was that one guy who was the decoy. All right, so you got this guy who's an older guy who starts yelling out. Didn't he take his pants down? He took his pants down. This guy was at 9/11. He was at the Boston bombings.
All the hits.
He called in a fake bomb at another place, and then he did this at this thing. So somehow or another, this guy has the state of mind that the moment someone gets shot, he yells out and says, I did it, and takes his pants down or something like that. I don't know exactly what he did.
Joe Rogan and Candace Owens have joined forces, and they are saying things are not adding up in this Charlie Kirk story. You see, the official story of Kirk's tragic death is no longer good enough for them. And if it's not good enough for them, it's not good enough for millions of their followers. And at the center of their questions is the bewildering actions of Charlie's widow, Erika Kirk, in the aftermath of all this drama. Now, Charlie Kirk wasn't just a commentator. He was the architect of a political movement. His sudden death didn't just create a power vacuum. It created a vortex of unanswered questions. And now, Rogan and Owens are zeroing in on the person at the very center of that vortex is Erika. Ever since Charlie's untimely passing, everyone's eyes have been on Erika, dissecting her public behavior, her financial decisions, and her rapid ascent into her late husband's role at Turning Point USA. This led to the internet questioning Erika's timeline, her motives, and the bizarre, intimate moments caught on camera with J.D. Vance. And the revelations Candace and Joe made are leaving people with more questions than answers. You see, word on the street is that Candace allegedly spoke to a whistleblower from deep inside Turning Point USA, and the story they're telling is more chilling than any conspiracy theory we could have imagined. According to this insider, the power grab didn't start after Charlie Kirk's tragic death. It was already in motion before the fatal shot was ever fired. The source alleged that Erika Kirk had already begun quietly assuming the role of CEO, making high-level executive decisions and systematically sidelining Charlie's most loyal allies within TPUSA. Staffers noticed the subtle but unmistakable signs: shifted leadership dynamics, secretive meetings, and key figures suddenly finding themselves excluded from critical conversations. The throne, it seems, was being prepared for a new ruler before Charlie was even gone. But the most explosive allegation, the one that pushes this from a story of corporate maneuvering into something far more sinister, centers on the Utah event itself. The whistleblower alleged that security protocols for that fateful debate were mysteriously altered, and most shockingly, a stand-down order was allegedly issued, a directive that prevented TPUSA security from fully cooperating with local law enforcement. And who does our source claim issued that order? Erika Kirk.
I'd sit in a room like, this story is horseshit. Like,
Yeah.
none of these things make any sense to me. Like, you're telling me that this kid who's not military trained, this guy, first of all, how did he get to the roof? How come nobody was looking? How come nobody was like, there's a direct line of sight between where he's sitting and those roofs? You guys didn't check? You don't have a drone? Like, that's insane. So he's on the roof, he shoots, he jumps from the roof, he jumps down 14 feet.
Guys, Joe Rogan and Candace Owens aren't just whispering in the corners of the internet anymore. They've taken a flamethrower to the official narrative, and the blaze is spreading faster than anyone can contain it. These two have officially gone to war with the story we've been told about Charlie Kirk's death. Their bold stance has given millions of skeptics a rallying cry, transforming quiet doubt into a deafening demand for a real investigation. But their most devastating focus has been on Erika Kirk herself. They've zeroed in on her behavior in those first raw hours after the tragedy, and what they've highlighted has left audiences stunned. While the world expected a widow shattered by unimaginable grief, what they saw was a woman of chilling composure. Her public statements, critics noted, felt less like a eulogy and more like a rehearsed performance. The delivery was flawless, the words were perfect, but the soul-wrenching emotion was conspicuously absent. This perceived disconnect between the horror of the event and her poised demeanor sent a shockwave through the community. Where were the tears? The visible tremor of loss? Instead of a portrait of grief, many saw the cool, calculated presence of a CEO addressing a corporate crisis. And then she vanished. Her silence in the weeks that followed wasn't just quiet, it was a black hole of information, sucking in all the noise and speculation and giving nothing back. That absence has become its own kind of evidence in the court of public opinion. As Rogan and Owens have pointed out, in a situation screaming for transparency, her retreat from the spotlight feels less like mourning and more like a strategic withdrawal. As Rogan and Owens kept the conversation rolling, the internet didn't just react, it exploded. Overnight, the comment sections, forums, and group chats were flooded with wild theories. People started insisting that Charlie Kirk hadn't just been blindsided, but that he'd actually been warned about threats coming from inside his own circle. Others claimed there were whispers about money quietly disappearing and major power plays brewing behind closed doors at TPUSA. What had started off as a heartbreaking and straightforward loss suddenly began to look like the opening chapter of a much darker story, one filled with betrayal, shifting loyalties, and hidden motives. And once Rogan and Owens' discussion went viral, the internet detectives went into overdrive. They began piecing together screenshots, half-remembered rumors, and snippets of conversations, swearing they had uncovered signs of private communications that hinted someone had tried to alert Charlie about danger. Accusations of deleted messages, missing call logs, and people close to him suddenly going silent only fueled the fire. The narrative became more tangled by the hour, as online sleuths insisted there was more happening beneath the surface than anyone was admitting. Then came the moment that left people stunned. Seemingly out of nowhere, Erika Kirk suddenly reappeared with news that sent shockwaves through the entire conversation. Word is she confidently declared that she was now fully in control of TPUSA, and she didn't hold back when addressing how the media had been talking about her. She accused them of twisting her husband's death into a cash grab storyline, turning her personal tragedy into headlines for profit. But the internet wasn't unified in how it received her message. A lot of viewers couldn't help noticing how composed she seemed, and for many, that calmness didn't read as heartbreak, it read as strategy. It wasn't long before people started whispering that Erika's video felt more like a power move than a grieving widow statement. And just like that, the entire audience split into two camps. Some applauded her for stepping up and taking charge, claiming she was simply protecting her husband's legacy and shutting down the noise. But others insisted she was using the moment to solidify her own influence, suggesting she might be positioning herself at the center of whatever comes next. The divide only added to the growing uncertainty, feeding into the bigger mystery that already had everyone hooked. Meanwhile, Rogan and Owens didn't let things cool down. They started teasing that there's still more we don't know, hinting at new information, new angles, and possibly even bigger twists on the horizon. Their determination to dig deeper has made it clear that this story is nowhere near finished. The questions surrounding Charlie Kirk's death and Erika's role in everything that followed are only getting louder, and everyone watching is waiting to see what the next chapter reveals. Ultimately, the unfolding saga surrounding Charlie Kirk's death has become a gripping mix of unanswered questions and behind-the-scenes tension. It's no longer just a story about a tragic loss. It has turned into a deep dive into loyalty, power dynamics, and the quiet deals people allegedly make to protect their own interests. With every new detail that drips out, the entire situation grows more complex, and the pressure on TPUSA and the conservative movement keeps building. Many are now wondering how far-reaching the consequences could be if even a fraction of the speculation turns out to be true. People love to say that the truth always finds its way to the surface, but in this case, the path toward uncovering it looks messy, unpredictable, and full of twists that could completely rewrite everything we've been told. The combination of tragedy, politics, and whispered conspiracies has turned this story into one of the biggest internet obsessions of the year. Everywhere you look, from TikTok threads to YouTube breakdowns to late-night live streams, people are dissecting every rumor, every clip, every timeline inconsistency. The audience isn't just watching, they're participating, analyzing, and debating like the entire internet has suddenly become a giant investigation room. And with huge voices like Joe Rogan and Candace Owens refusing to let the story fade, the narrative is evolving faster than anyone can keep up. Their commentary has amplified the conversation to a level where every new hint or claim instantly becomes headline material, sending viewers into another round of theories and speculation. At the center of all this is Erika Kirk, whose every move is now under a microscope. Her video announcement didn't just put her back into the spotlight, it positioned her right in the middle of the storm. Now, people are questioning what her long-term plan is, what role she might play in TPUSA's future, and whether she's preparing for a larger public presence or simply trying to get ahead of a narrative that's spiraling beyond her control. With so much attention on her, even the smallest decisions, who she speaks to, what she posts, what she refuses to comment on, are being interpreted as clues. As the investigation continues, one thing is becoming impossible to ignore. This story is nowhere near its conclusion. Every week brings a new angle, a new allegation, or a new theory that shifts the entire conversation. The hunt for answers is intensifying, and the stakes have climbed far higher than anyone imagined when the news first broke. For TPUSA, for the conservative world, for Erika, and for the millions following every development, the journey to the truth has only just begun. And if the current momentum is any indication, what comes next could be even more explosive than what we've already seen. So, what do you think about this drama? Let me know your opinion in the comments. And don't go anywhere because I got even more shocking news that you don't want to miss.